Hey guys, it's Eric. I'm going to be doing your walkthrough on your guys' brand new trailer. Please bear with me on this. This is the first time I've done a virtual walkthrough, so let's hang tight and see how it goes. I'm going to be very thorough on it. This is probably going to be a long video. So anyways, this is your guys' new trailer. I'm going to start on the outside of it and kind of walk around and go over the things. So we're going to start back here on the driver's side rear. So this is on the rear of the trailer. On the very back, you do have a ladder, so you can get on the roof. This is a walkable roof. They normally caution customers not to get up there unless necessary. You can step on vents and things like that and break them. There's absolutely no storing on the roof. That is a very important part. You don't want to drill any holes into the roof unless it's done professionally. Up there is a pre-wired backup camera, so there's wires behind there, and how that operates is if you were to put a camera in there, once you turn your running lights on, which are your marker lights here, that gets powered from that. And I am going to be pausing this video periodically. We have trains that come by. I have one coming right now, so hold on. Okay, I apologize about that. We have a train track right above us here, so I'm going to have to pause the video when we have trains come by. So we just left off talking about the backup camera powering off of the running lights. And if you guys have questions, if you want us to put a backup camera in, we are more than willing. It's fairly simple, and then I can go over that again with you at that time. On this trailer over here is your electrical, your outdoor showers right here. So I'm going to go through this one at a time here. Down here you'll see a stabilizer jack. I'm going to go over that in a little bit. There's 4 of these. There's 2 in the back, 1 on the passenger and driver's side, and then there's 2 on the front on the both passenger and driver's side. And I'm going to go over that here in a minute. So we'll start down here. This is your sewer outlet drain. Obviously this is the funnest part of the whole trip, right? Yeah, just kidding. Over here you'll see a handle. It's a gray handle. This is your gray tank, which is your sink, both of your sinks and your shower wastewater. On this side you'll see a black handle. That is your black wastewater tank. That is going to be your toilet and only your toilet waste. So obviously this is a brand new trailer. Nobody's used this. There might be a little bit of water in the tank. We'll find out here. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate how to dump it. So here's your sewer hose outlet. Your sewer hose has these bayonet fittings. There's one here. Actually, there's 4 of them around. Your sewer hose just clamps on. Run your sewer hose into the ground wherever you want to dump it. To dump it, you always dump your black tank first. So here's your black valve. I'm going to slowly pull it. We might have some water come out. Obviously that would be draining into the outlet. So pull the valve, let that drain. It can take up to a couple minutes on a full tank. Once your black tank is dumped, close your valve, then come over to your gray, pull your gray tank valve, and your gray tank water will drain. Same thing, it does take a couple minutes to drain. In this purpose, we're having water coming out right now because we tested all the systems on your trailer. So this is just fresh water that we use to test the systems. We'll just pretend it's dumped. When it's done, you'll come over, close your gray tank. That'll stop all flow. Obviously, you're gonna wait until it's done dumping. Then you disconnect your sewer hose and you'll put it in your sewage storage container, which is on the other side, and I will show you that when we get to the passenger side of the coach. In the meantime, I'm going to leave this open so it'll be drained for you guys when you go on your first trip. Moving up over here, this is going to be your outdoor shower and your electrical hookups. This guy right here is a black tank flush. So what this is designed for is to flush out your black tank. There's a little spindle in there that spins water around that goes into your black tank. So to use this, you hook a hose onto it. Before you turn the hose on, open your black valve. You want to make sure that that is open, because what can happen is if you turn the hose on when you're hooked up to the black tank flush, it'll backfill the tank up, and it can actually, if it gets too full, it'll start coming out of the toilet, and you don't want to do that. That is not a good day. So Hook up your hose, open your black tank. Obviously you'll have a sewer hose on. Turn the hose on and let it flush for 3 minutes or so. And then once you're done, turn the hose off first, let the residual water drain out, close your black valve, and you're done flushing your tank. We always recommend doing this probably every 4th time you've dumped. I mean, if you have the ability to do it every time, I would. Some parks, you have a line of people behind you trying to dump, so people will get irritated, but hey, whatever. You're camping. Nobody should be in a rush. So at least every 4 times, try to use this. Down here is your electrical hookups. I'm going to show you guys when you're here. This is a plug-in style, and then there's a little twist that that basically locks the cable on. The important part about the cable, it's pretty self-explanatory to plug it in. This is a 30 amp trailer. So if you guys go camping, you're going to want to make sure you have 30 amps. You can get a 50 amp spot and use an adapter to bring it down to 30. But that's fine. But it's a 30 amp trailer. You have to have at least 30 amps to run your air conditioner. And honestly, I'm going to dive into the electrical side of the trailer when we get to the inside. This is your outdoor shower. Let me grab some keys here. So this key that I'm holding right here, it's hard to see, it says CH751. You'll have 2 of these, actually you might even have 4 of these keys that come with your key ring. These locks and all the locks on this trailer on the outside are going to be CH751 keys. This key is a universal key in the RV industry. So your compartments aren't technically completely secure. Anybody with this key can open up your outdoor compartments, so your storage compartments on the front. The door key is different. So in your outdoor shower, you have a hose. I'd say it's probably a 3-foot hose. So you can pull your hose out. You have hot water, cold water, and then same thing on the shower head inside the trailer. There's this little button here. What this does, if you push it, it shuts the water flow off. So that way you don't have to turn them on and off every time and mess with your hot water side of it if you want to use hot water. So you click the button, stops the flow of the water. It does dribble slightly. And they're designed to do that, so that way you remember to, when you're done using it, to actually physically turn these off. So you will get a little dribble when you're using that water stop. That's factory, that's normal. So there's your outdoor shower. We'll lock that back up. Moving along, obviously we have your slide outs open. And let me step back here. It comes out about probably 2.5 feet. So the real important part with this is that when you're at a campsite, make sure you don't have like a pedestal or something that this is going to push out into. You want to make sure you have enough clearance around your trailer, and you'll honestly get that down once you do a couple trips and everything. You'll be able to eyeball it, but at first maybe get a tape measure it, get your exact measurement, just be safe. You don't want to push it into a tree or a power pedestal or a faucet or even a rock or anything like that. It'll obviously cause damage. As far as your tires are regarding, and I'm going to go over the maintenance side here towards the end of the video. Tire pressure is extremely important on travel trailers, and we'll check what that tire pressure is here in a second. So keep an eye on your tire pressure. These tires come pre-filled with nitrogen from the factory. It's a fancy thing that these factories are doing. Honestly, in our rental fleet, we just fill them back up with normal air using an air compressor. Nitrogen's a little bit expensive to get refilled, so from this point on, if you need to fill up your tires, you can go to a gas station, use their little air compressor, and just fill them up with normal air. It's okay to mix nitrogen and air. It's not going to damage anything. Moving along, so over here we have, inside here is your water heater. You can open this by using this tab. There's really no need to get inside the water heater. It's more for maintenance, this maintenance side of things. So if you bring it back to us to have it serviced, we would get in there, blow the propane orifices out and everything. There is a screen on it already to protect against mud daubers, so really no need to ever worry about this. And I'm going to go over how to turn this water heater on and off inside using the inside controls. Over here, this is your water connection system. This top one here has a little twist cap that comes off. This is your freshwater tank fill. So this is your physical onboard tank that holds the fresh water. So what you do is you put a hose in it, start filling it up until it starts, dribbling back out at you, and at that point you know it's full. There's also a meter inside the trailer, I will show you how to use that shortly, that you can monitor the level that is in your freshwater tank. Moving along down here, this is your hookup setting area. And it's all labeled. The left-hand side one here is your city water connection. So this is if you're at a full hookup campground. You hook your hose into there, put the hose in at the spigot at your park, turn it on, and you're running off of the pressure of the park. So if you're using city water connection, you do not need to use the water pump that is inside. There's a button inside to turn your water pump on. That is only used if you are dry camping, which means you're not hooked into water and you're pumping out of your fresh water tank. That's when you would use your water pump. The right-hand side is an antifreeze inlet. There is no need for you guys to antifreeze this unit. If you do live in Arctic conditions or you do want to winterize with antifreeze, bring it to an authorized dealer to have them do it. There's a lot that goes behind it. You don't want to pump antifreeze in this unless you're switching bypass valves, and it's pretty deep. Honestly, you might want to look up online how the antifreeze system works on these. I'm sure they have a video that goes into depth on this. Just for the portion of this video, we're not going to go into that because we don't recommend our customers doing it. Have a professional do it. Down here it says freshwater drain. So underneath your trailer you have a valve here. This is to dump your fresh water tank. I'm going to close the valve. So keep the valve closed. You can come up, fill it up until it's full. Once you're done camping, or you want to release the water to save weight, if you're coming home from a trip, you can come under here, pull this valve out, and it dumps the fresh water out of your fresh water tank. It is a fairly large tank. I don't remember the gallons off the top of my head for this particular model, but it does add a lot of weight to the trailer. So if you are done with your trip, you're on your way home, you're not worried of needing water, open the valve and dump it. Over on this side, this is your sewer hose carrier. So there's a little lever here. Rotate your lever, open it up. You can store your sewer hose in there. That way you don't need to put it in a compartment. It can stay in its own separate tube, as it is a sewer hose, so that's nice, sanitary down there. I know I'm touching things, and to avoid the virus, after this walkthrough, I'm going to have my crew come in and disinfect anything that I'm touching, so you guys know that. We've disinfected it often, but I'm going to have them re-disinfect it using gloves and masks and everything before you guys physically get here to pick it up. Over here, this is your storage compartment, and how I open that, there's a little lever here that you rotate. This is a lock on this side, which you use your CH751 key for. Keep in mind that's a universal lock, so I wouldn't put any very valuable items in here, no firearms or a safe or anything like that. Keep those inside. Inside here's your pass-through compartment. It's kind of hard to see, it's dark. This is an extra propane cable for the outdoor. This comes with an outdoor like griddle stove, and I'll show you the box that's inside. We don't walk through how to set that up. It's very self-explanatory. There's instructions that come with it. Inside here is going to be your power cable, the 30 amp cable, and a couple other goodies that Forest River sells with these trailers. Also inside here, this is an outdoor table that slides on the outside of the trailer, and I'll show you where that slides on. It's honestly pretty self-explanatory. It slides on a rail, and then you use this little flap to stabilize the table. Other than that, you can put storage boxes in there, luggage, whatever you need. That's your outdoor storage. On this side, this is your docking light switch. So you click this switch up, turns these fancy little lights on the front. It's hard to see because it's light out. These are LED lights for the front of the trailer. Turn them off. They look pretty neat at night, actually, and they do help you see up here in this area if it's dark. So we're going to move along up here. This is your battery area. We haven't installed your batteries yet, which is why you got cables hanging out. I'm taking this video a little early. They haven't gone and installed the batteries. Obviously, we'll put batteries in there. There's really no need to get in that battery box. You do have solar that's pre on the roof, which will keep your batteries trickle charging and charged up when you're dry camping. The batteries we install are maintenance-free batteries. There's no need to check the cells to see if you have water in them. They're sealed batteries, so you do not need to worry about maintaining them, which is a huge plus. Propane tanks are under here. They are full right now. There's a little flap here that you can unscrew, open up, and access the tanks so you can turn them on and off easily. Honestly, what I do, I just take this whole shroud off. It just pulls up and off. So I'm going to set the phone down real quick and take this off. Bear with me. Okay, so I removed the cover. It's a freestanding cover. A lot of people get nervous that it's going to blow off when you're going down the road. It will not. Don't stress on that. So it just slips on over the tanks. It doesn't really matter which way you put it on, so it's not a huge deal. These are your 2 propane tanks. Obviously, they just turn on and off. The most important part about this is your regulator. So that's this white deal here. So this regulates the propane pressure coming out of the tanks into the trailer. There's a little arrow right here. You'll see it's kind of hard to see, but the arrow is pointing to this tank, which means this is the primary tank. What most of our customers do is they leave this tank off, leave this tank on, so when you run out of propane, you know you're about 50%. What you can also do, you can leave both of the tanks on. This regulator auto switches over, so once you deplete this tank, as long as that tank is on, it'll automatically start running off of this tank. What this arrow is your primary. So you would only rotate this if you want to switch what your primary tank is. Your front tongue jack is motorized. There's a light switch here which turns a LED light on, and then it's extend and retract. So that's how that works. It just goes up and down. It is slow, but it's a lot better than the old cranking ones. Up here, and it's hard to see, inside here there's a red key. This is your battery disconnect switch. When you're storing the trailer for a long period of time, you can rotate this key, pull the key out, and it hangs like so. I just disconnected the batteries, so inside everything is not operating right now. It turns your refrigerator off, turns all the lights off, so everything gets disconnected. All you have to do is reach in. It's kind of hard, sorry if the video is shaky. Put your key in, rotate it. It will not pull out. Your batteries are reconnected and ready to go camping. I'm going to go over the hookup and unhookup procedure in front of you guys while you're here, so you guys can stand back and watch me. It's very important that we get this down. That's a huge safety part of the trailer, so I don't want to videotape that just for safety reasons. We'll do that in person. Coming along this way, this is going to be your passenger side of your trailer, which your entry door is located. Up here is a little port. This is your outdoor solar port. It comes pre-wired for what they call a suitcase solar, which is basically a solar panel you can place and move into the sun. Honestly, you already have solar on the roof from the GeoPro line, so there's really no reason to have a suitcase solar. If anything, I would add more panels on the roof, which we can do. That is totally doable. The reason we don't recommend the suitcase solar is because of theft. People can run by, unplug it, and take off with your solar panel. They're not cheap. A decent suitcase solar panel are about $800–900, so it's not a cheap item to have just sitting outside. This is the opposite side of your storage bay. These are all magnetic clips up here, so CH751 keys on one side, the little thumb locks on the other side. Open it up. Inside here's the opposite side to your storage. Man, it got dark. This is your outdoor griddle. Sorry if the it's really bright on this side. Your outdoor grill, or I think it's a griddle, is inside here. There's a box behind it that is what the griddle mounts to. It's very easy to do. There's instructions in it. I would just open it up when you get home and have some fun with it. I don't honestly want to open it and get all my germs all over it, so I'll leave it fresh in the box for you. There's a wheel right here. It's a caster wheel for your front tongue jack. So up here, you can actually put the wheel on the front tongue jack and kind of move it. Obviously the trailer is really heavy, but you can move it slightly to help you hook and unhook. We take the wheels off immediately when the trailer gets here from the factory, because they do roll. So the last thing we want is our trailers rolling around all over our lot. So we just remove them. Even for our service customers, we remove them immediately just for safety reasons. We don't want trailers moving around. moving along this way, this little vent right here, this is your furnace vent, the furnace exhaust vent. So it does get really hot when your furnace is running. So you do not want to lean any chairs here. You don't want to have a cooler open leaning against it. It will melt chairs and things like that. It gets pretty hot. You do have your outdoor awning. It's fully automatic. There's a switch inside, which I'll show you, that opens and closes your awning. We'll get there in a minute on the inside. At this point, I'm going to go over your stabilizer jacks. So there's 4 of them on board. There's 2 in the back, 2 in the front. There's a crank that is inside this storage compartment. It's about a 2 foot, maybe 1.5 foot crank with the end of it is going to look like the end of this stabilizer jack. You hook the crank on, crank it down by hand until the stabilizer pad touches the ground and barely lifts up the trailer, maybe 1 or 2 more cranks. These are not designed for leveling. So you want to level left to right using blocks or some kind of chalking system, rolling up on a 2x4. You can purchase, we sell them here. You can get them on Amazon. They're like, they're kind of like Legos for trailers that you can build a ramp and drive up on them. So that's how you level left to right. Front to back, you're going to use your front tongue jack, so up and down to level. Once you're level, then you do your stabilizers. So you bring those down, barely lift the trailer up. And the 4 stabilizers, once they're down, make sure they help the trailer not rock as much. So you'll notice a huge difference once you're using them. Like I said, do not use them. They're not designed to change a tire or physically level the trailer. They will bend. They're not sturdy enough to do those items. You might hear controversy on that. Some people will be like, hey, I use them all the time to level. If you call the factory and talk to the engineers on them, they will tell you do not use these. That's why I'm saying that. Moving along here, right here it says low point drain. Up underneath your trailer here, it's really hard. I'm not going to try to take a video of it because I know it's probably going to be impossible, but up under there, once you look, you'll see a blue tube and a red tube coming out of the trailer with a cap on the end of it. What those are used for is getting all the water out of the lines for winterizing. So you can open up all the faucets inside the trailer, take the caps off those tubes, and it'll drain all the water out of the system. Those are why they're called low point drains. It's the lowest point of water escape on the trailer, other than your fresh tank drain. There's a rail right here. You see this black rail? That is where the outdoor table slides onto, as well as the outdoor griddle slides onto. It's pretty easy. There's a rail here, and they literally just slide on and off. So it's fairly simple. Down here it says LP disconnect. This is your LP system for your exterior griddle. So basically it's all a quick connect fitting, just like a air hose would be. So you hook your LP hose on. There's a little valve back here that you rotate forward or backwards, I'm not too sure which way, which allows the flow of propane to start coming off. This outlet is actually plumbed to the propane tanks on the front of the trailer, so which is neat. So you can hook your griddle up and you're running off the propane that you have on board on the front. There is outdoor power here. I'm going to go over the power in a minute once we get inside, and we'll come back to that. So just remember, you do have a plug out here. So you can put a little lamp or something on the outdoor table or whatever you want. If you want to string some lights up to your awning, I mean, you can do whatever you want with that. Moving along to the front. This is getting tight. I apologize if this video is shaky or anything. You have these, they're called MORryde steps. It's a new step system. How they work is you open them up, open up your door. So you open your door all the way to the back. And these steps actually just fold up and into your trailer. I always shake them off a little bit. So they go up and they sit inside the entry door. There's a little latch here that holds this inside. So you step back, they look like this. So they sit inside your entry door, and then your entry door actually shuts in front of the steps. To bring your steps down, pull the latch, remove your steps down, and you want to make sure you level your steps to this threshold, and I'll show you here in a second, using your legs. So there's a pin here on either side. You can pop the pin out, and these legs you can move up and down to level your steps. I'm going to bring your steps down. Bear with me. They're not heavy, but you got to hold them. So bring them down. So there's this threshold right here. You want this threshold to be as low as possible so you can close your door over it. so otherwise your door won't close correctly, and that's when you would use your pins to level the steps. At this point, we're just about done on the outside. I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video for a minute, regroup, and we're gonna start on the inside. And obviously, I know this is a lot to take in. If you guys have any questions on this video, please call me, email me, and I can explain any questions you have. So we're gonna pause the video and we'll resume here in a minute on the inside of your new trailer. All right, welcome back. We're gonna go ahead and do the inside of the trailer. So we're gonna step into the trailer. On the left-hand side here is your refrigerator. There's a freezer portion inside of it. The little black clip up there in the right-hand corner is how you open and close the door. We'll start down here though, in this black box here. If you open this up, these are all of your fuses and breakers. So on the left-hand side are all your 110 breakers. Right-hand side is your 12-volt fuses. I'm going to go over the power side of it right now. So the 110 side, breaker side, only works if you have a generator or you are physically plugged into power. What runs off of the 110 is going to be your roof air conditioner, your microwave, any outlet, so that outdoor outlet, and I think that's just about it. Everything else is on the 12-volt side. So your lights, your water pump, your furnace, your water heater ignition, your refrigerator ignition, those are all 12-volt. So let me explain that again. The only things that run off of 110 that you absolutely have to have power, either a generator plugged in, are your microwave, your outlets, your roof air conditioner. Everything else is going to be 12-volt. You'll see there's a little red light on. I simulated a burnt out fuse for you. So what I did is I actually just physically removed this fuse. What that is, so the red light lets you know when there's a fuse out. So that way you don't have to search for bad fuses. Obviously you can see there's multiple 15 amp fuses. There's a 30 and a 40 fuse. I would always recommend carrying extra fuses with you. You can get them online or your local store, hardware store. They're good to have on hand. It is rare that they go out, but it's always good to have them on hand. The 110 side, it is very rare that we get a tripped breaker, but it's more common than a fuse going out. So if something on the 110 side's not working, check your breakers. If something on the 12-volt side's not working, check your fuses. And then these just go up, and this just pushes back in. There is that fuse that I took out to simulate the outed fuse. As far as the refrigerator goes, here's your handle to open your refrigerator. We're testing the temperatures right now in it, which is why there's a thermometer in here. This is your freezer portion of the refrigerator. Close it, latch it closed, and you want to hear that clip. That means it's locked, so you want to hear that. Your controls for the refrigerator are up here. This is on, so off, on. This button right here, so it's kind of hard to see, the auto light is lit, which means it's on auto. So what that does is as soon as you disconnect from power to 110, it will automatically switch back over to gas. If you depress this button, the auto light turns off and it is now forced to running on propane. The only time you would really do this is if you're dry camping and you don't want your generator to put power to the refrigerator rather than charge your battery. I always normally leave them on auto if I'm at a campsite with power. Microwave's up here. It's a standard house style microwave. There's your plate in there, the manual. Obviously you have to have power for it like I was saying earlier, but it's pretty simple to use and figure out. We have your bathroom. Inside your bathroom, you have your sink, hot, cold water. This outlet here is a GFI outlet. If we were to, if it trips, just like you would have in your normal bathroom, this is your main outlet for every single other outlet on the trailer. So if this GFI trips, none of your outlets are going to work. You would come over and reset the GFI. Your toilet is a pedal flush toilet system. So you just push your foot on the pedal to flush it. If you push halfway, it'll start to fill up with water. All the way down, it'll flush the waste down into the black tank. Your shower is pretty simple. You have a curtain that goes around and locks in. It's got hot and cold. It's got this new thing called a shower miser, which is this tube looking thing right here. What this does is it helps you save water when you're dry camping. So, and there's instructions on this as well. You rotate this knob up, turn the hot water side on, and it's cycling the water back into the fresh water tank. So that way you're not dumping water down into your gray tank, you're just cycling it. Once this turns like a whitish gray, then you know you have warm water. You would rotate this back down and water will start coming out of your shower head. Residual water will probably dribble a little bit while you're using the shower miser. That's factory design. Same with the shower head water stop, so you actually remember to turn the water off when you're done showering. There is a light switch over here. Up here you have your skylight, which is just there. There you have a bathroom fan. You have your fan speeds over here, on off here. Pull this lever down and then you can crank the vent up and down. This fan is 12 volts, so it will run off the battery. Coming back outside, up here is your control panel to your trailer. This is an important part of the video. Most of your functions are focused off of this control panel, so I'm going to take my time on this one. All of these are your lights. There's an awning light, a porch light, and then your interior lights are here. So those are outdoor, indoor. Up here are your tank monitors. BATT is your onboard battery, your 12-volt battery on the front of the trailer. If you click it, these little red lights come on and illuminate. You can probably see them coming on off there. C is charged or charging. G is a good charge. F is a fair charge. L is a low charge. So if your battery, and you do have solar, so it'll kind of help keep your battery power up. But if you do get down to low, you're going to want to either plug into a generator or outdoor power. Fresh water tank is here. If you click it, it'll show you where we're at. Right now it is registering, well, it's kind of hard to see in the video, but it is empty right now. As it fills up, it'll go to 1/3, 2/3, and then back to full. Black and gray, same thing. So as you're filling up your toilet wastewater, the lights will come on. As you're filling up your gray water, the lights will start to come on until it gets to full, then you dump your tanks. Fresh water pump is here for your water heater. So you turn that on, the blue light comes on, this little light letting you know that it's on. At that point you can turn on your taps and it's pumping the water out of your fresh water tank that was filled over there on the outside. Just a reminder, you don't need to use your water pump if you're hooked into city water connection, which is that hookup on the outside that I explained in the video. There's two water heater options. There's the water heater gas or water heater electric. If you're plugged into power at a park, you can use the electric side. If you're not plugged into power, you would want to use your gas side. It's one or the other. You don't want both on at the same time. You can use them both at the same time. We just don't recommend it. You have a 6-gallon water heater tank, and it takes about a half hour to heat up once you activate the water heater. There are no tank heaters installed on this particular model. We didn't order it with it. It is an aftermarket feature we can put on. What those are heater pads that we install on the black, gray, and fresh water tanks so they do not freeze in cold or Arctic conditions. Your slide out in and out switches here. So if you hit in, your slide out will come in, out will push it out. And then same with your awning extend. We'll start to bring your awning out, awning retract. We'll bring your awning back in. The awning is all button actuated. There's no locks or levers on the awning. The awning is adjustable pitch, and I'll show you that when you guys pick up. For some reason, if I forget, just give me a call. I'll show you how to do it. You can pull down on the arms and tighten a wing nut that'll pitch your awning so you can keep the sun out or run water off of it if it's slightly raining. Down here you do have your fire extinguisher and an outlet. The heater system is ducted through the black ducts and they're throughout the trailer. Your air conditioner I'll go over in a minute. So we're going to move along this way. Sink's pretty self-explanatory. As far as your oven and stove's concerned, it's pretty easy. You have your fan and your light. So light switch. To light your oven, let me remove this out of the way. This is a bifold, so this folds back and then up. You would turn this over to light. This is your igniter. So you push and hold and your flame comes on. For the stove cooktop. For the oven side of it, Open up your oven, turn this, and you'll see on it, it says pilot. Turn it over to pilot. You push and hold this. While you're holding that pushed in, you come over here, run your igniter. You'll want to come down and look underneath. You'll see where it might show in the video. So there it's sparking. That's where the flame's going to come on. You'll see a blue flame activate. At that point, your pilot's lit, and you can turn your oven to whatever temperature you would like. The oven also takes about a half an hour to get to temperature, same as your water heater. When you're done using the oven, make sure to turn your pilot all the way to off. We don't recommend having an open flame in the trailer just for safety reasons. When you're done, make sure all your knobs are on the off position. Come back over and then bring this down once this cools down. And then this rotates and covers back. Your TV is a 12-volt television, so it'll run off of your battery. It's pretty easy to figure out how to use. The important part on your TV is there's this little button back here. If I push it, the green light comes on. What the green light means is that the signal booster is on, and it's channel searching through your over-the-air antenna, which I'll show you where that is in a minute. If you depress this, it will, on the outside near your water hookups, there's a part, and honestly, I think I forgot to explain this to you, and you can rewind and see it. There's two coax ports out there. One of them is labeled park or cable. The other one is going to be labeled satellite. If you're at a park that offers cable, you would hook in to the park cable, and then you would make sure that green light's off. And then it's when the green light's off, it's looking at the cable for the park, the campground. If you want to use the over-the-air antenna to watch TV, you would turn your button back on. Green light comes on, and now it's looking at the over-the-air TV. I normally leave these off. If you want to use park cable, you'll need to install a coax cable there to the TV, because right now it's ran a little differently. So call me if you guys have questions on this. It can get a little confusing. Back here, there's a switch that's called Wi-Fi Ranger. If you turn this on, what this does is it activates a modem on the roof that you can log into and connect to remote wireless internet, and it's an extender, so it'll connect to wireless internet further than your cell phone will. You'll want to scan this barcode and watch a video or read the instructions on how to use it. It does get a little confusing if you're not 100% tech savvy. If you have questions on this or this doesn't work for you, please call me. Up here is your indoor speakers. This is your sound system. A red button will turn it on. You can Bluetooth your phone to it. There's USB, auxiliary, all that fun stuff. So that's how you would run your music side of it. There's some storage in here. Down here, this is going to be your obviously your bed. And then there's a button down here. This is your inverter switch. Right now the green light's on, which means the inverter is activated. So it's pumping power to the outlets. So this is a low 1000 watt inverter. What this inverter does, you turn it on, and then at that point you could plug a low wattage coffee maker into an outlet, and some devices charge your cell phone or whatnot. This inverter does draw quite a bit of power. So you want to normally leave them off. So you push the button, release it, the green light will turn off, which then deactivates the inverter. You want to use this as minimal as possible because it takes a lot of power to regenerate. Your solar will eventually regenerate your 12 volt. How the inverter works is it's taking your battery 12 volt power, inverting it to 110, which does take a lot of battery. So use this minimally. If you do plan on using it a lot, I would upgrade and install either two 6-volt batteries or another 12 volt on there, which we can do for you guys. Windows are all open by the little black crank there. Pretty self-explanatory. This is your over-the-air antenna. I would download the WineGuard app, and it does spell WineGuard on it for you. Follow the instructions on the WineGuard app how to use this. Basically, you would turn that green light button on, go to your TV settings, go to cable, go to over-the-air cable, and then you have to channel search, just like you would an old school over-the-air TV system. Moving back along, all your lights, they have a little button in the center, so you can control which lights you want on, so it's not too bright in here at night. Your master light switch over by your entry door has to be on for these lights to work, though. Obviously, you have your table here. The table is just a normal freestanding table, so you can fold your legs up, put the table behind the couch for storage. when you're traveling. It just moves around. It's not mounted at all. I'm going to move it out of the way for the purpose of this video real quick. So to make this into a bed, it's called a jackknife bed. So you grab, pull up, and then the bed lays down. It makes it into a bed. You just reverse that process to put it back up. Inside that black bag is all of the manuals and instructions for the trailer that come from the factory. This is your wireless tire pressure monitoring system that comes with the trailer. I would highly recommend using this. Tire pressure is extremely important on these trailers. It's all remote, plug and play. There's instructions inside of it to use it as well. This little cable right here plugs into the mattress for your heated mattress feature on the GeoPro line, or actually it's a Forest River product line. So you can plug that into the mattress, plug it into an outlet, and heat up your mattress at night. It is 110, so it only works if you're plugged into power or have your inverter on. I would not recommend using your inverter overnight to heat your mattress. It would kill your battery. There's remotes inside here for your TV and stereo system. There's batteries for the remotes. This is to change your fresh water filtration filter. It's kind of challenging to change it out, so I'd bring it to us or give me a call and I can walk you through how to change it. It's not as easy as a house one typically. Your solar controller system is over here. Right now, our batteries are at 81% in charging. It is set to flooded cell, which you have a flooded battery in here. Or excuse me, it's not a flooded battery. I need to have a technician switch it over to sealed. So over here, it'll say sealed when you guys pick up. So I'm going to fix that before you guys get here. It monitors your battery. If you click it, I believe B, it'll show you your current voltage. Shows you your current incoming amps from the solar, which is 0.5 right now, which is pretty low. We are in some shade. And then back to your percentage. Other than that, really no need to bother with this. It does its own thing with the solar. It float charges your batteries, so it brings your batteries up to a certain charge and then stops charging so they don't boil. This is your thermostat for your furnace. To turn it on, you would move your thermostat over. It's warmer, colder. You'll have to find your sweet spot to where you guys feel comfortable. Right now, it's about over 90 degrees in this trailer and I'm sweating pretty bad. I do have a face mask on, obviously. I'm wearing gloves and we're going to sanitize this trailer before you get here, so we're being as precautious as we can. Air conditioner controls are up overhead. You'll see high cool, low cool, high fan, low fan on the front knob. This knob is to control how cold or hot you actually want to get this trailer. Other than that, it's pretty self-explanatory. These vents do close, so you can duct off half of the air conditioner if you want. Clean your air filters. Often keep an eye on them. You want to make sure your intake air filters on either side are clean. Honestly, other than that, inside your trailer, everything else is normally pretty self-explanatory. There's light switches throughout the trailer that you guys will find, like over your sink. That stuff's kind of just, you gotta explore and have fun in your new trailer and figure out where all the light switches are. There is a smoke detector up overhead here. It is a 9-volt battery system. Your carbon monoxide and propane detector is located back here. It is pretty sensitive, and the one important thing about the carbon monoxide and propane detector is these are actually physically hardwired into the battery of the trailer. So if your voltage drops too low inside the trailer, this thing will start chirping at you. So make sure before you go to bed you have decent voltage, which you can check up here on your control panel by clicking battery. That's just about it on the inside the trailer. I believe I covered everything. If you have any questions, concerns, or whatnot, just send me an email, give me a call. I hope this helps you guys. And then, like I said, the weight distribution system and unhooking and hooking up, I'm going to go over when you guys are actually here, because that's a pretty that's a huge safety item. So yeah, give me a call if you guys have any questions, and enjoy your new trailer. I'll see you guys soon.